Hey everybody, Shep here. Today we're doing something a little bit different down here in the old gaming lair. Today we're going to be doing an RPG review. Today I'm going to be looking at Terra Invictus. This is a great resource for Shadowdark players, especially for solo players. This is the resource that I used as I started out my first solo game, and this is the inspiration for all the things that I created in my own Sundered land setting. So with that, let's get down to the table and let's take a look at it. All right, here we are, everybody, at the table. We've got Terra Invictus here. We have our Elixir of Vitality, some of our favorite hot tea. So we're ready to go. As we look at this, I want to take a look at just a few different things. I want to look at the physical product. I want to look at its layout and some of the really interesting features of it, and how we can approach using this in regular play or especially as solo players. So if you're not familiar, Terra Invictus is a campaign setting for Shadowdark specifically. It's made by Greg Christopher, and you may know him as the Chubby Funster from YouTube. If you haven't checked out his channel, I highly recommend it. Very interesting content, does a lot of game philosophy, design approach. So really interesting stuff, at least for me, as I explore game design and just work on my own solo dark material and solo dark play. So the book itself is glossy cover, nice solid cardstock cover, 247 matte kind of plain pages here. It's digest size. I really like that. Sometimes the larger full book size pages are easy to read, but I do like handling a digest size book, keeping this around on a large play space and everything else, and packing up. It's great to just have along. This book has art throughout, just kind of break things up. So like you can see here, just some small art examples. You know, some of them a little more comedic, some of them far more realistic. Interesting buildings, you know, some shipwrecks, things like that. So all kinds of different art, some of it black and white, some of it full color. I also do like there's some interesting iconography for different regions. Each one of the cities has its own heraldry. Its kind of coat of arms is right there to separate it off. And that's just a really just nice touch. It makes you feel like I'm in different places in different regions as you go through the book here. You also have, let me see if I can find an example here. I was just looking through and had a great one earlier. So you see there's also some full color pictures here as well. There's also some regional dividing art as you move through different entire sections of the map. So you can see this nice full color page piece of artwork here. So really great presentation overall. Very well organized book. Gives you everything you need up front on the how to use and some of the general notes that every region is going to need, and then it breaks it into all the very specific regions of the hex crawl, because this is a hex crawling resource book, and everything is just really well laid out, very intuitive, which is great for a resource like that. Sometimes you'll find things you just go, where was that in this book? Never have that problem with this. So just A+ for that. Now, let's move on and take a look at some other things. For the layout of the book, as I already said, everything is really clear. One of the nicest things is for each hex, just this really clean layout that you see time and time again. Most of it is in 2-column. So you can see an individual hex is here, and an individual hex or a pair of hexes are here. Sometimes you'll get something like this, especially in cities that are larger. So they'll get a full page layout all by themselves. But each one has some standardized things, random things that happen. One of the things that I really like for all of the cities, it gives you a list of the residents, how many guards are there, and gives you a breakdown of what it's like. So it's sort of giving you a flavor of what you can expect. Is this a large bustling city? A smaller town? Is it heavily guarded? Is this a lawful place? Is this primarily a dwarf settlement or what have you? So really great solid layout here. As you approach a book like this, not only does it provide the hex crawl here, but he's provided a lot of extra brand new content as well. So just to give you some looks here, One of the things that I found interesting is he has over 100 new deities in this book, lawful, neutral, and chaotic ones. And for each one of them, he's got the name of the deity. He's giving you their status. Is this like a demigod, a minor god, a major god? Their portfolio, what are they overseeing? Their symbol, their personality. What's it like if you would ever encounter this deity or their minions? What's their disposition? And I love this part. What are the acts of faith? So if you have someone who wants to do something of devotion or has to atone, these are the kinds of things that would be meaningful to that deity. Find that really interesting. A great extra detail. As I said, neutral, chaotic deities as well, and even gives major portfolio sections. You can see, like, so for chaotic, here's manipulation, emotion, and the last section is tempest over here. One of the coolest features is the pilgrimage. So for each and every one of the deities, there is a place, a location inside of the hex, and I'll go ahead and put a picture of the map up right here for you. So you can see there's the hex map, really nice looking map. And so you've got a full color version that shows kind of the topography, and then you have a plain version just to make it easy to read hex numbers and things. But inside of that, that's a separate download. But within that, the pilgrimages are given on specific locations. So you could go on quests in these places if there were major rites you would want to do, or there was very serious works of atonement as part of a questing note. He's given you those kinds of anchor points in here, which just adds a lot of flavor for the game. There are the main point of the entire game, obviously, is the hex crawl. And so when we look at the hex crawl here, every single one of the hexes has these standardized things. You've got kind of the description of the region, what's the temperature, the weather, those kinds of things. You also get a first look. This is kind of the predominant feature of the land. You may have some other things that can be encountered here. And this is useful for a GM run game or a solo game. And then this is something I really enjoy. Every single hex has its own random encounter table. So rather than going to a standardized random encounter table or going to the encounter tables that are in Shadowdark that have just kind of the region, the terrain type sort of thing, he's taken the effort to make a separate random encounter table for every single hex. It has its own flavor, its own ecology, its own interactions with the rest of the world around it. And that's just such an incredible work. It makes everything feel alive and moving. And as somebody who's working on and moving through designing a hex crawl himself, trust me, this is a labor. And so I'm very thankful for this piece right here as well. When you go into the cities, another great feature, look at all of these details of features, whether it's NPCs or locations that you get to meet and get to interact with. You also have a specialized rumor table. So again, rather than going to the standardized rumor table in the main Shadowdark book or rolling up a Mythic GM emulator result, you've got each location has its own set of rumors. And this is a feature, as I use this book, is great. It feels like you've got some political intrigue. You've got rumors about different things happening in various regions. So rather than just an odd random detail, it feels like this set of rumors is actually pertinent to the place where I am and perhaps even the city. I found that frequently, rather than just a random one-off rumor, this has been kind of the impetus for a number of adventures in my own solo play. Just hearing about something may give you an opportunity for a monster hunt or a specific quest or anything else. So these are really valuable. And so I did enjoy those in the book as well. The book also provides, again, new content, a number of new monsters that are inside of the book here. These are monsters that you can use not only in this setting, but in your own setting as well. And giant sheep over here, vicious giant sheep. And so as you look at this, 33 new monsters. And not only that, he's included some major villains. There are 11 major villains in this setting. So a lot of content, just hours and hours and hours of play contained in this book. A lot of replayability to use it with groups and use it yourself. Just a lot of different paths you can take. As for using the book, The notations, each one of them, as you saw, there's a lot of icons. He gives you right up front what to expect when you see an icon like this. This was real helpful for me. I'm not great at remembering, wait, was that the secret agent? How is that different? What's the military one do? And so this was helpful. I would rather not have had all the icons. That's just me and my personal preference, just because, I seem to have a hard time grabbing hold and remembering what was what. But I do like the fact that right here in the very front of the book, he lists them all out. That way I knew exactly where to go, made it easy to check back up on them. But as a GM, this tells you how to use it as you're walking along with your players. However, there's an entire section on solo play, and this was my bread and butter because it gives you some basic interactions. And as you're in settlements or in the wild, it shows you what happens for each one of these. And so rather, again, than deciding, does this occur or not, and using oracles and things like that, he's given you a DC that you get to roll against to see, based on how long I've been here, do I encounter these things or not? So it again makes it a more unique experience rather than a total random experience that an emulator or oracle might give you instead. So this is a huge value add for the solo play experience. So that's Terra Invictus. Again, this is a 5-star product for me. I think this is a must-have for any solo player that's out there. Again, even if you don't use the hex crawl and go through this specific world, this is an amazing resource of just inspiration and insight on how you might organize some of your own solo game as well. So 2 thumbs up for the Chubby Funster and his incredible, again, dense work that he's done here. So that's it. That's our first review. Hope you enjoyed it. I plan to do some more in the future. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And while I've got you, of course, the shameless plug for my own campaign setting over on Drive-Thru RPG right now. Links down in the show notes, along with the link for Terra Invictus. But be sure to go over there. All the products for the Sundered lands and even some of my other supplemental resources are there. Pay what you like. The only thing I would ask is that you leave a great review, if you don't mind, just to help get the word out there, because I just love sharing products with other people in the hobby. Well, that's it for today. Thanks all. Take care, and we'll see you next time at the table.